Starting off the video immediately with the first shot, without a fade-in or a cut, is very jarring. The two opening shots are a technically correct use of eye tracing, but viewers will naturally start a video looking at the center of the screen and will be confused by being forced to look at the top left corner first. Speckles of white are bleeding through from the stage. Charlotte's arm continuously clips through this window. She also doesn't step back. Her leg just retracts and extends as she turns. Charlotte's shoulder goes from the middle of her torso to right next to her jaw in one swift movement. This fall animation doesn't look natural in the slightest. It just looks like she's getting pulled down by some invisible force. Charlotte just looks up, freaks out, and commits the no heart pump. Yet, we don't see what attacked her. According to Five Nights at Freddy's canon, it was the puppet that went outside to check on her after Afton murdered Charlotte in 1983. I know these videos have creative freedom and all, but the way this video deviates from the canon is aimless and doesn't result in a compelling storyline. On the one hand, this is a classic case of an animator not wanting to model an entire city, so they just used a black void with some lights in the background and called it a day. On the other hand, I can't argue that this is a good looking shot and the framing makes Baby look good against the background. What to do? Let's add 2 sins and remove 1 as a compromise. It may add up to the same thing, but think of it as a symbolic gesture showing our appreciation for clever use of minimum resources. It looks like Baby's animation starts just as the shot does. Despite the fact that Baby walks like a drunken sailor, her walk cycle doesn't have ups and downs, which doesn't make much sense given how her legs move. Baby freezes for a frame at the end of the shot. This happens a lot with this video, so how about we give this 10 sins? Sounds fair to me. Looks like Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria has no roof, at least in the version they built for this set. William Afton doesn't move at all during this bizarre sliding animation. Also, his tie clips through his shirt. Afton seems to slip a little bit as he runs here. There's a light in Afton's neck. Is this normal? This reflection is ridiculous. Turn down the opacity by at least 70% and it would have looked fine, if not exactly realistic. Again, with these raised parking lot lines. The light hitting the window frame isn't correctly lined up with the car's headlights. The car comes to a hard stop without any recoil. The car's brake lights clip through the driver's side door as it's being shut. Afton's left shoulder stays in one place while he walks at one point. Right here. The refraction on this glass door was incorrectly rendered, which makes it look like there's a clone of Afton glued onto the door. Afton's holding the door open without even touching it. What a talent. The light coming from the car's headlights bleeds through the wall. I know it's a music video and you want to line up your character's actions with the tempo of the song, but if you find that your choreography is out of sync, the solution is not to have your character stand awkwardly for a full second before everything lines up again. Dear friends, always side by side. Afton's hand clips through his disembodied hair. This isn't the usual kind of clipping we see all the time in videos with Minecraft-inspired visuals, where their hands phase through tables or doors and it adds to the charm. This is just sloppy and completely avoidable. With dreams of being glorified as iron sides. Afton's flashlight dims as he scans the room. Finally, in you. This rack focusing on Funtime Foxy's jaw hanging open happens way too fast and cuts away too soon, in an attempt to stay in tempo with the music. This shot would have been much more effective if it was slowed down by 25%. The beam of Afton's flashlight is at an incorrect angle relative to where he's pointing it. Afton should not, under any circumstances, fit through this door at all. Also, his shoulder travels straight through his face before dropping. This crossfade isn't strictly wrong per se, but it's the only fade or dissolving transition in the video and looks out of place. Afton looks very unsure about his support for that rock and roll. This is not a good blinking animation. Afton's eyebrows movement is highly exaggerated, and the eyebrows don't move at the same velocity as his eyelids. Afton's animation as he closes the briefcase is very awkward and slow. His hand also jitters as he does so. This transition is very clunky. The animators are trying to simulate what's known as a whip pan, where the camera moves very quickly from one side of the frame to the other. The main reason it doesn't work here is because Baby's momentum isn't consistent between the two shots in this transition, and there's a period of about 3 frames where both Baby's position and her falling speed change, which resets the eye line and can cause the viewer to get confused. Afton experiences no knockback from swinging a fireman's axe into a pile of likely reinforced metal. The sequence of events in this shot happens far too quickly for the viewer to catch on. Plus, the camera remains out of focus for 1 frame at the beginning of the next shot, which was simulating the rack focus needed to switch to Funtime Freddy, who is attacking Afton from behind before readjusting from Baby to Afton again. The change of depth of field here is just adding a blur effect to Baby and the floor on the right side of Afton, not everything in the background, like the left side's flooring. Funtime Freddy's arm has little to no drawback before the punch. Due to improper arcing, this looks bad. That axe is all shaky. Nice stance there, Afton, but that's not how you swing an axe. Though if you're lucky, you might join a Major League Baseball farm team. That was the weakest kick known to man or animatronic, and Afton is trying so hard to sell it. Actually, forget baseball, William. Maybe you should try out for the WWE. Afton's axe appears to hit Funtime Freddy's thigh, yet it's his shoulder that sparks as if it's taken damage. Bopping Funtime Foxy's snout causes their arms to fall off. Neat. Yeah, I'm sending that immediately. When Funtime Foxy falls over, he's on his side. However, the next time we see him, he's laying on his belly with his head looking forward. This must have looked much more impressive in the storyboarding phase. Not a simple dream at all left. This trash in this shot spawns in midair, clattering to the floor as the shot begins. Not only does Funtime Freddy's hat clip into the broom, the way it rolls doesn't correspond with how it's being pushed. Afton spends an extra 2 seconds sweeping absolutely nothing. Killer's passion lifetime spellbound. This broom does not touch the wall. This is another example of a simple, avoidable error that somehow managed to slip through the cracks. The loss of a precious life. Why are your car seats made of clay, Afton? Henry's movements in this moment were very choppy and poorly arced. Henry's walk cycle here is pretty snappy. Henry gets thrown to the ground here, but is never touched by the metal device. Henry must have the strongest legs in this town to be able to stand up like that. The animator forgot to have this light on during the transition. Henry, if you have an why would you ever use your fist to fight Afton? In conclusion, this animation was okay. While it's nice to see a Minecraft-styled animation rendered in 4K with high-resolution character models, the animation itself is choppy and jittery and has a lot of consistency issues. On top of that, the plot is very helter-skelter, with the ending throwing an Ennard in the puppet for seemingly no reason other than fan service. Most of the issues we discussed in this video could have been fixed with more time and attention paid to the technical aspects of the video. But despite our critiques, we're encouraging the animators to keep improving their work. There's a lot of potential here.
Objection!
How do you get square balloons? Blow square breaths.
What the actual sh**? What?
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day.
Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.